right now on Fox 5 News at 10. He was a tough, young athlete, but a blow to the head changed his life.
We brought in a priest to give last rites.
The warning signs your child has a concussion. Coming up.
Well, a college student from New Jersey never thought that playing his favorite sport would land him in a hospital near death.
There were warning signs, but he and his family didn't know them.
Fox 5's Duke Castiglione is here now with their personal story for us tonight. Duke.
This is just an incredible story of hope and courage. The player and his family want you to hear what happened in hopes it might save someone's life.
They weren't sure if he was going to make it through the night, so we brought in a priest to give last rites.
For Preston Plevrites of Marlboro, New Jersey, a hit on the football field nearly killed him.
If we were aware that he was in a position where he could wind up like he did, certainly we would have said, that's it, you're not playing today. You know, you just tell the coaches. But we didn't know enough ourselves to be aware.
At 19, Preston stood 6'3", 220 pounds. He was a tough, skilled athlete, and football was his passion. It was his sophomore year at LaSalle. Preston took a helmet-to-helmet hit at practice. Doctors checked him out and cleared him to play. Weeks later at a game, the impact of a collision with an opposing player left Preston with a severe brain injury and put him in a coma. 7 months in the hospital, 4 brain operations later, he's now 23 years old.
After it happened, you couldn't move your arms or legs?
He now requires around-the-clock care.
So what position did you play in football? Linebacker?
His speech is limited, and he's learning to walk all over again.
How do you have such a great attitude? Your mom? Your dad?
Preston says he has no ill feelings. He still loves football and watches every weekend.
So do you still love football?
Because I don't blame the game.
He and his parents want his story to be a warning to players of all sports, from kids in elementary school all the way up to college, even in the NFL.
It's best to sit out. If you have symptoms, sit out one game, perhaps the season, or you could sit out the rest of your life, like he has to now.
Doctors believe Preston probably suffered a concussion in the first impact during practice, which made things much worse when weeks later he took a second hit. Preston and his parents have since learned more than they ever imagined about concussions and dangerous warning signs coaches, players, and parents need to know.
We need to teach those kids, hey, these are the signs and symptoms of a concussion, and you need to tell somebody about it.
Dr. Audrey Halpern is a New York neurologist who says no matter what the sport, players and parents need to know the warning signs.
Loss of memory for the events surrounding the injury, and things like dizziness, imbalance, and later effects can include things like mood disruption, irritability, impaired sleep, and headaches.
And once it's diagnosed, the doctor says pulling a player from the game until he or she is medically cleared to get back in can help prevent more serious injuries like Preston's.
The risk of having permanent or long-term consequences from a head injury are very significant, especially after repeated head injuries.
And those risks prompted dramatic changes in the NFL that's banned helmet-to-helmet hits and introduced concussion guidelines, and they've even started running public service announcements about concussions.
If you're a coach or parent, know concussion symptoms and warning signs.
What the NFL has done for us really is to bring a lot of attention to a subject that is really important, especially for younger athletes.
Because on the youngest levels, as kids train harder and hit harder, the odds of injuries increase. And some coaches are now taking it very seriously.
We not only encourage our parents, but at times demand that they take their children to be examined by a health professional, one that specializes in the area of head injuries.
One step at a time, Preston is on a long and difficult road to recovery. He hopes his story will continue to raise awareness at home and on the playing field, and maybe even save someone's life.
Preston's family sued LaSalle University for failing to properly treat the first concussion. The university agreed to a $7.5 million settlement, but did not admit any wrongdoing. The university has since implemented a computerized neurological testing program for all student athletes and established a partnership with a nearby brain center where all suspected head injuries are now evaluated.
This is some story to look at. And just this week now, Duke, right? Some new information about concussions.
Oh, yes. That's exactly right. On Monday, researchers on concussions spoke before Congress about head injuries in young athletes. They now recommend football players under 18 to sit out for at least 3 months following a concussion. So, you know, the family was just incredible. Their strength, their courage, and their message. I mean, it's just really incredible.
It's really
story.
admirable. Yeah. Powerful story, Duke. Thank you so much.
All right, a reminder, too, that tomorrow morning, Dr. Sapna Parikh will have much more on concussions, from the computers used to detect them to tough new laws that could change youth sports in our area. Catch it all right here tomorrow starting at 4:55 a.m. on Good Day New York.